So the first thing I would do if I were writing a paper on spiders for a biology class, I would just go to the internet, any internet browser. And the first thing I would usually do is type in Google. Google is basically the biggest search engine, and it's kind of the easiest, it's the fastest too, so this is what I use. So, yeah, the first place I look for information is Google because it's most of the time it's reliable and it's just faster and kind of easier. I didn't really grow up on going to a book for research, just technology kind of made it easier. So, I would go to the search bar and I would type in spiders into the Google search bar. So I began the research process by, yeah, typing in spiders because that is how you look something up on Google. I searched the terms spiders because that's the general topic. But for example, if I were to Google something like are spider like what kind of spiders are venomous and which are not, I would basically put which spiders are venomous and which spiders are not, or really, or not. And so let's say I did type that in, which spiders are venomous or not, and the first link was spider identification chart, venomous or dangerous. And this is this looks like a good link because it's pretty oh, something just kidding. Okay. Something just popped up. But this link would be pretty good because it's similar to what I typed into the search bar. So it is a .com site. It's a termite.com/spider identification. So I click on this and I chose this link because it was pretty much close to my search bar. So I look on the site and it's basically pictures of different spiders, and it is it's about like 12 spiders, pretty much common spiders you would see, and it is divided into the level of venom toxicity. So basically in that spot it would tell you if it's venomous or dangerous or something like that, and where you would find it, and basically what the spider looks like even if you didn't have the picture. So I would save this source because it gave me what I was looking for, like which spiders are dangerous or venomous. So I keep up with the information I locate. Since I'm on a website, I would just copy and paste the link and I would email it to myself. And then I would probably cite it later. Just this is kind of like quick research, so I would just cite it later. And then I keep up with my sources. Usually I take notes. I don't exactly go to like Google Docs or Microsoft Word while I'm doing research because things just kind of flow better on paper and pencil. So I would write down notes on what I'm about to research or what I'm researching. And so in this case, I would maybe pick a few spiders and write on that. And I would summarize what I'm seeing. And I wouldn't paraphrase it because this is what the website is showing me. It's pretty summarized already. And you don't want to plagiarize. So I'm changing my search terms to So I guess, for example, maybe that website didn't give me enough information. I would go to I would go back to Google into my search bar, and I would Google Black Widow spider venomous. And so I typed in Black Widow spider venomous, and the first link was a link from the National Geographic, and it has an article on the Black Widow spider. It gives me the scientific name, which is actually really helpful because if you're writing it writing a paper for a biology class, that's pretty important. And it gives you some pictures, basically a lot of background and like statistics on the actual spider. So probably when you narrow down your research, you would go to another website. And so this website was pretty helpful. So I would copy and paste the link and I would just go back and cite it later. And so the information I find from this website, I would just write down on a notepad or something like that so I wouldn't lose it. And the next place I look for information is probably, for this topic, I would probably go to a magazine. There's probably like a magazine or a book in the library at Club Hindi or something because I'm pretty sure they have lots of books on spiders and animals like that. And I think that's it.
I am doing writing a paper on China for my public speaking class. I usually open a Word document first because that's where I like to start my writing. And I'll go to open Chrome to do my research. First, I'll Google what there is to do in China because there's probably a lot of more information. I usually don't use Wikipedia because I just don't think it's a good source. Here's, let's see, Chinese holidays. I like to highlight what I think is important because later then I'll go back and reword it and cite it later. But then I'll try another website. I'll just Google China and because I can get more information. And there's images of the Chinese flag. And then there's another there's a Chinese orphanage in China called Show Hope. I like to get information from because I'm just used to it, and so I'll copy stuff from here. then paste it into my Word document. There it is. But then after I get done with that, I'll go to Site Machine. I usually do MLA because that's where how I was taught in my English class, and go to a website because that's what you're citing from. Let's do Dino. And just do select because that's the one that we want to cite. There it is. Then you continue the steps, that way it'll show you everything and you can put in information. And then I'll copy that source and then save it. You go to another go to another site. Let's do China's population. So that'll give us information on how many people are there. We can go to, let's go and copy this one. And copy it to our page, and then we can go back to Site Machine. I copy the URL. Then go back to MLA and paste. There it is. And I copy this and put it into my Word document. Do a page break and create a site page. That way you don't lose your sites. I'll save my work. And that's it.
I'm writing a paper on the sleeping patterns of teenage students for my class in psychology. First place I would go to is primarily Google because it's easy to use. Just wait for it to load up. First thing I would type, a broad statement, sleeping patterns of teenage students. You see you have all these lists that pops up. Normally I would choose the first link because that would probably be the most clicked link. You see National Sleep Foundation sounds, well, it looks like it could be accurate information, have different types of facts and consequences of sleeping patterns. You have different pages. So first I would read this first paragraph right here. And if I like the information, I would open up a Word document and I'll jot down some notes. After seeing this, I wouldn't necessarily close out this page. I would just come up here and click New Tab. And once again, I'd go back to Google. Now type in the same statement, sleeping patterns of teenage students. Now here we have a college link, UCLA. So I'll click that. Universities tend to have accurate information. Here we have another introduction paragraph with the risk of not getting enough sleep, the need for sleep. Here we have a more detailed description of sleeping patterns. Here we have a bunch of different links within this website to look at. Here's sleepiness. I'd click this to find out exactly how one gets sleepy or things like that. Just other information I could use in my essay. And once again, instead of closing out the tab, I would just click New Tab, go back to Google, and type in the same statement, sleeping patterns of teenage students. I'll type this in because I don't want to necessarily get off topic. I want to make sure I stay on topic. As I scroll down, I see many different links I can click. Right here we have Stanford University. Once again, we have another link to a college. It's important to have many different sources and links to compare information. You would want to find out if the information you're putting in your essay is correct and accurate. So that's important to have many different tabs of the same thing from different links. Once again, the same thing, back to Google. I do this many times to, again, have many different sources of the same information. Here we have a PowerPoint from the Sleep Foundation. After looking at this PowerPoint, I would scroll down, have a table of contents. This is good so I make research quicker. I could just look at, see which one I need to go to. We have who is most at risk for drowsy driving. Sleep smart. Just many different things. I would continue to scroll down. So this is talking about drivers, student drivers who tend to not get enough sleep and try to drive a vehicle. This could also be some more information I could just put into my essay to make it more interesting for the reader. Now, after looking up certain patterns for sleeping, after looking up certain sleeping patterns for teenage students, I'd once again go back to Google. Now I'm choosing Google again because it's easy. It's easy to find information on Google with keywords and things like that. So I would look up the transition, the sleeping patterns, like the transition between high school and college for a student, and what happens to their sleeping schedule. So let's see. I would search. First, I would search high school student sleeping patterns or habits. You can choose either one. And you see here we have the same link pops up, sleepfoundation.org. But as we scroll down, we see many different things, many different links. I'm going to go with most high school students are no, go with this link. I went with this link because, again, it's at the top of the page, so I would assume that it's the more, I wouldn't say it's the more accurate website to go to, but I would assume that it's more chosen by other people who have also searched the same subject as me. So as I get this, I want to compare the sleeping schedule between a high school student and a college student. So I'll again open up a new tab, go back to Google, and I will search the sleeping pattern for college students. And here we have a variety of things. We have a link from the Health Center, have a link from Brown University, Notre Dame College. There's just many different things here. And typically I would go for one that has been given to us from a university, mainly because, coming from a college, you would assume that the information is correct and accurate. So here we have college students are among the most sleep deprived people in the country. it just continues down the page as we scroll down. Just in endless information about the sleeping patterns. So now that I have all this information, I'll typically open up a Word document. I would put one half of the screen, my internet browser, and I'll take the Word document and put it on the other half of the screen. I'll do this because it makes it easier to go back and forth between your your notes, and you can just easily look over to the other half of the screen and see the information. So here I'll start off with the teenagers in sleep. I see facts and consequences, so I'll just jot down a few of these facts. Now I wouldn't want to jot down word for word, so I typically just briefly read over this, and if I see something that looks interesting, or if I see something that might seem like it's important information, I'll jot it down over here in Word. So right here the first fact says sleep is vital to your well-being. Well, that seems like something I can write as a topic, so I would jot that down. Then it just goes on and on. It says here teens need about 8 to 10 hours of sleep. That seems like a good fact to use. So once again, I'll jot it down. And here it has a statistic. Using a statistic in your paper seems to make it more, let's say, makes it more accurate, I would say. Well, it wouldn't make your paper more accurate, but professors, they like they would typically like statistics to be in your paper, showing that you actually did research on your topic. So I would jot that down. Now that I've jotted down a few facts, I'll come down here to consequences from not getting enough sleep. Enter a few spaces. And now I would just take some of these notes of the consequences of not getting enough sleep. It says here, it limits your ability to learn, listen, concentrate, and solve problems. That seems like a really big factor of not getting enough sleep. So once again, I would write it down over here. Now here we have some information that's not really, you wouldn't typically put inside your essay, mainly because it's not information that one would think of like formal to write a paper on, to put inside your paper to turn into a professor of a university or a teacher in high school. It says make you more prone to pimples. Now a more how would you say, professional way to say that would be a lack of sleep can contribute to acne and other skin problems. So instead of saying make you more prone to pimples, I'll just jot down lack of sleep can contribute to acne and other skin problems.
I am writing a paper on concussions for my English class. The first place I look for information is google.com because it's easier to search in the search box. I use the search terms concussion and football because it'll give me the most information about my topic. I chose this link because it gave me the most specific word choice inside of its URL. I am going to save this URL because it gives me the best information about concussions. I will keep up with this information I locate by copying and pasting into a Word document. The second place I look for my information would be Google again. I chose this link because it's a newspaper article and I find it reliable. I will save this link because it gives me specific examples about concussions in football. I'm going to change my search terms to concussion effects because I want to see the impact that it has on athletes. The next place I look for information about my research would be Galileo because I find it reliable. I chose this link because it gives me information about preventing concussions. I can use that as an argument in my paper. I will not save this link because it's not specific to my needs. I will save this link because it is an academic journal and it seems very reliable for information about concussions and evaluation. And I will copy and paste that to a Word document. And I will try to look for another academic journal because they are, to me, the most reliable search for concussion protocols. I'm going to choose this academic journal because it discusses concussions in NHL, which is hockey, other than the sport of football. I am going to save this link because it will give me a counter argument about how concussions occur in other sports besides football. Now I'll change my search to concussions and disease to determine the long-term effects of concussions. I chose this academic journal because I felt it was most reliable and most credible for my research. I will save this link because it was a study done by two doctors, so I found it very credible. Now I change my search to look for books that are found in the library catalog at Georgia Southern. And I will search concussions as my title to be more specific in my searching.